Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy. I'm an ordained minister, and we're in Bible study. We are in the Niv. We are so close to being done with the Book of Deuteronomy, but that won't happen until tomorrow. In this video, we are in Deuteronomy chapter 33, okay, which is Moses blesses the tribes. So, this is the blessing that Moses, the man of God, pronounced on the Israelites before his death. He said, "The Lord came from Sinai and dawned over them from Seir. He shone forth from Mount Paran. He came with myriads of holy ones from the south, from his mountain slopes." Now, it's got or from here for A, which just makes me go, what? And the B from his mountain substance. The meaning of this word in Hebrew for this phrase is uncertain. And I'm like, also, it's because it came from myriads of holy ones instead of with myriads of holy ones. Myriads is a number, okay? It means a dozen. It's a myriad of something. In Hebrew contract law, specifically. Okay, just make that clear. I paid very close attention to that one, once that word started, that number started meaning something to my own life at one point. So, surely it is you who love the people. All the holy ones are in your hand. At your feet, they all bow down. And from you receive instruction. The law that Moses gave us, the possession of the assembly of Jacob. He was king over Jeshurun. Jeshurun means upright one. That is Israel. When the leaders of the people assembled along with the tribes of Israel. Let Reuben live and not die, nor his men be few. But because there's instead of nor his men be few, there's but let, which actually changes the definition. Let Reuben live, not die, nor his men be few. Let Reuben live and not die, but let his men be few. Like, you don't want Reuben to have a lot of people in it? What's up with that, Moses? And this he said about Judah. Hear, O Lord, the cry of Judah. Bring him to his people. With his own hands he defends his cause. Oh, be his help against his foes. About Levi he said, your Thummim and Urim belong to the men you favored. You tested him at Massah. You contended with him at the waters of Meribah. He said of his father and his mother, I have no regard for them. He did not recognize his brothers or acknowledge his own children. But he watched over your word and guarded your covenant. He teaches your precepts to Jacob and your law to Israel. He offers incense before you and whole burnt offerings on your altar. Bless all his skills, O Lord, and be pleased with the work of his hands. Smite the loins of those who rise up against him. Strike his foes till they rise no more. Now, of course, that's, it's also his tribe, right? Because Moses was a Levite. Aaron is his big brother, and it was Aaron's children and Moses' children, who are the Levites, to serve Aaron's children. About the Benjamins, he said, let the beloved of the Lord rest secure in him, for he shields him all day long, and the one the Lord loves rests between his shoulders. About Joseph, he said, may the Lord bless his land with the precious dew from heaven above, and with the deep waters that lie below. With the best the sun brings forth, and the finest the moon can yield. With the choicest gifts of the ancient mountains, and the fruitfulness of the everlasting hills. With the best gifts of the earth and its fullness, and the favor of him who dwelt in the burning bush. Let all these rest on the head of Joseph, on the brow of the prince among his brothers. Or of the one separated from his brothers. In majesty, he is like a firstborn bull. His horns are the horns of a wild ox. With him, he will gore the nations, even those at the ends of the earth. Such are the ten thousands of Ephraim. Such are the thousands of Manasseh. So, that's son of Nun. Joshua, son of Nun. About Zebulun, he said, rejoice, Zebulun, in your going out, and you, Issachar, in your tents. They will summon people to the mountain, and there offer sacrifices of righteousness. They will feast on the abundance of the seas, on the treasures hidden in the sand. About Gad, he said, blessed is he who enlarges Gad's domain. Gad lives there like a lion, tearing at arm or head. He chooses the best land for himself. The leader's portion was kept for him. When the heads of the people assembled, he carried out the Lord's righteous will and his judgments concerning Israel. About Dan, he said, Dan is a lion's cub, springing out of Bashan. About Naphtali, he said, Naphtali is abounding with the favor of the Lord, and is full of his blessing. He will inherit southward to the lake. About Asher, he said, most blessed of sons is Asher. Let him be favored by his brothers, and let him bathe his feet in oil. Let the bolts of your gate, the bolts of your gates will be iron and bronze, and your strength will equal your days. There is no one like the God of Jeshurun, Jeshurun. It's the same one. Who rides on the heavens to help you, and on the clouds in his majesty. To the eternal God is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. He will drive out your enemies before you, saying, destroy him. So Israel will live in safety alone. Jacob's spring is secure in a land of grain and new wine, where the heavens drop dew. Blessed are you, O Israel, who is like you, a people saved by the Lord. He is your shield and helper, and your glorious sword. Your enemies will cower before you, and you will trample down their high places. or you will tread on their bodies. Trample down their high places is usually about destroying their altars to who God considers demons. I don't disagree with God's feeling about this, but there are others who might. So, until the next video, friends. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. We are in Bible study. We are in the NIV. And I know that's going to make some people emotional. They're going to need to handle it. We are going to be in the NIV through next year, too. We are also going to start doing comparison language eventually in 2025 of the Proverbs. Proverbs are posted on Facebook almost before the end of this year. All of the KJV Proverbs will already be posted, and starting next year we'll be posting the NIV Proverbs. So then we can start comparing the language between the two. So if you don't like the NIV, you probably will be happy with those videos, because we will be talking about what the difference in language means between one and the other. So there's that. So maybe you'll like that portion of our videos better. We are in the book of Luke. We are in chapter 15. It is 32 verses. So we are just going to, do it all in one. So let's jump in. The parable of the lost sheep. Chapter 15, verse 1. Now the tax collectors and the sinners were all gathering around to hear him. But the Pharisees and the teachers of the law muttered, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." Then Jesus told them this parable. Suppose one of you has 100 sheep, but loses one of them. Does he not leave the 99 in open country and go after the lost sheep until he finds it? That is, yes, shepherds do that. And when he finds it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders and goes home. Then he calls his friends and neighbors together and says, "Rejoice with me, I have found my lost sheep." And yeah, the other sheep are going to tend to stay clustered together. They're not going to tend to go wander off. They don't tend to go wander off. There's safety in a pack. I tell you that in the same way, there will be more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous people who do not need to repent. I mean, it doesn't mean those righteous people aren't getting into heaven. He is happy that they have always stayed faithful. But faithful is what he expects. The parable of the lost coin. Verse 8. Or suppose a woman has 10 silver coins. Greek is 10 drachmas, each worth a day's wages. And loses one. Does she not, like a lamp, sweep the house and search carefully until she finds it? Of course she does. And when she finds it, she calls her friends and neighbors together and says, "Rejoice with me, I have found my lost coin." In the same way, I tell you, there is rejoicing in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents. Because if they repent and they change their ways, they're then back on the footpath to heaven. And they're back at becoming a righteous person. And that is a reason to be happy. God loves us. So he celebrates our wins. He wants us to have those wins. He's not setting us up for failure. He's trying to set us up for success. But we have to choose to be good in each moment to get to that success. The parable of the lost son. Verse 11. Jesus continued, "There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one was to his father. Now the younger one said to his father, Father, give me my share of the estate. So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had, set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. After he'd spent everything, there was a severe famine in that whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country, who sent him to the fields to feed pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. When he came to his senses, he said, how many of my father's hired men have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against you. I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be your son. Make me like one of your hired men. So he got up and went to his father. He swallowed his pride and went home. His father is going to make sure he doesn't starve. Yeah, he's going to have to earn back what he lost. But, he's going to be forgiven. It's his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him and ran out. Ran to his son, threw his arms around him and kissed him. Oh my goodness, of course his father's parents were probably worried about him. Especially if he's living in a country where there's a famine. Look, when I first moved out of my parents' house, and I was 21 years old, I moved maybe 10 minutes away. I think my mother called me every single day that first month to make sure that I was still safe. Absolutely. She, as what parents do. You're that far away, they're going to be worried. They can't see you, so they don't know you're okay. That's just how parents' hearts work, right? Verse 21. The son said to them, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. B, some manuscripts, a son, make me like one of your hired men. But the father said to his servants, quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For the son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost, but is found. So they began to celebrate. Meanwhile, the older son, who was in the field, when he came near the house, heard music and dancing. I think he's about to get jealous. So he called to one of his servants and asked him, what is going on? Your brother has come, he replied, and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has him back safe and sound. The older brother became angry and refused to go in. So the father went out and pleaded with him. But he answered his father, look, all these years I have been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders, yet you have never given me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when the son of yours who has squandered your property with prostitutes comes home, you kill him a fattened calf for him. So he feels underappreciated. My son, the father said, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. I don't know what the older son is so worried. It's like, look, he's home. So they're celebrating because he's home. He was found. That doesn't mean God's not going to make him go, like his dad's not going to make him go out in the field the next day and work with his brother. Yeah, he will. Yeah, he will. He has to make up for what he lost. If you don't actually do the penance, like you're not actually sorry, and people can see it. They're not going to keep celebrating you if they could see that you're not being honest. No. So jealousy. Sibling rivalry has always existed. Look at Cain and Abel, and it went to the extreme, right? So remind yourself, if you're going through that this holiday season, if you can manage to make it through your holidays and not act like Cain and Abel, then you're doing better than you think. And let's remember, the jealousy serves no one and nothing worthwhile. It doesn't even come from Creator. It's a fear-based reaction. It's when one is afraid that they are loved less than another person. So that's comparison language. We're all God's children. He loves us, whether we're acting out or we're not. But just like any parent, when we're acting out, He's not going to give them favor. He's not going to give them blessing. He's waiting until they're done having their temper tantrum so He can tell them what the real punishment is. Because if you whine and cry the entire time when you're sitting in your time out, you never actually learn what you shouldn't have done. Timeout isn't over until you're done whining about it. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy. I'm an ordained minister, and we're in Bible study. We are in the Nev. We are in Psalms, book 3, Psalm 78. We're going to do verses 65 through 72. Then the Lord, this is a maskil of Asaph. Okay. Then the Lord awoke from sleep, as from sleep. Then the Lord awoke as from sleep, as a man wakes from the stupor of one. He beat back his enemies. He put them to everlasting shame. Then He rejected the tents of Joseph. He did not choose the tribe of Ephraim, but He chose the tribe of Judah, Mount Zion, which He loved. He built His sanctuary like the heights, like the earth that He established forever. He chose David, His servant, took him from the sheep pens, from tending the sheep. He brought him to be the shepherd of the people, Jacob, of Israel, His inheritance. And David shepherded them with integrity of heart, with the skillful hands. He led them. He was a colorful character, King David. He was also, as it turns out, rather actually abused as a child. Controversy surrounding his birth. It's very sad. And that's great big glorification, because remember, we as humans, we're the fishes and loaves. The Lord does the glorification. Until the next video, friends.